Hello, everyone. How you doing? Happy Friday. I'm back. Apologies for last week. It was just didn't feel well. I can't even explain it. I just had this massive headache that I think stayed with me for about 3 or 4 days. So I just kind of thought, if I turn up for a stream, I just don't think anybody's gonna have a good time. So back to regular programming now. Hope you can hear me okay. I've got like a massive fan running. We've had like a heat wave this week. Like I thought the weather had cooled. It's now autumn here in Australia, but then this week it was like 100 degrees or thereabouts in the Fahrenheit language for pretty much the entire week. So it's flipping hot. I've got the fan running because I need for my mental health, honestly. So let me know that you can hear me okay. But I'm back. God, we've got a lot to talk about, right? Like I just was at the point where I was like, hot toys, a lot of announcements. Are we going to release some stuff? And today was a big day because, of course, finally, Artisan Anakin has dropped. And my goodness, the feedback online has been. I just think what I come to expect now whenever blogger photos are dropped, no one seems to like it. And I'm like, well, why don't we wait till we see some proper in-hand video footage, but that's not how the community works. So a lot to talk about. I'm gonna primarily be sticking to hot toys. Like I know InArt's done some stuff, J&D's done some stuff, Jazz Inc is doing some stuff, but I'm focusing on hot toys because just so much has been announced and released. So I'm going to try to stick to that. I am actually working on a bit of a review and a comparison. I did get the new Topo Studios. I think it's the TP22. So that's the Dark Knight Rises Bruce Wayne suit. You can probably see it in the cabinet. You're not seeing double. I've got the Topo suit and the Kento suit. Excuse me. So I'm going to do a review of that Topo suit and a bit of a comparison to the Kento one. I feel like a lot of people don't do reviews of clothing outfits, so I thought I would just put something out there. Particularly, I know there's some people who have been debating which one is the better one, and it's been interesting because I've kind of had that Topo one for about a week. So I've had a really good chance to have a look at it and compare the two. So I've started shooting that, and I'm going to hope to get that out to you guys on the weekend, most likely probably Sunday evening for me here in Australia, which will be Sunday morning in the US. So that's coming up, and we're on the road to 3,000 subs, which is crazy to me. So I think oh, you can see the my hair in the breeze of the fan. How cinematic. I think I'm like less than 60 subs away. So if you're watching and you like what you're seeing or you're enjoying my content, please hit the sub button. I'd appreciate it. I'd love you 3,000, ha ha ha, for it. So yeah, I'm kind of stunned and like appreciate everyone's support, everyone who turns up for the live streams. You guys make this so much fun, and I really love the community that we've built here that we talk about collecting. So that's enough rambling for me because my goodness, I'm worried this is not going to be a 2-hour stream with the amount we have to talk about. So I'm going to dive into the comments, and I know Ramstein fan did leave a comment, but for some reason they drop off if you leave them too far in advance. So hello to Ramstein fan when you watch the replay, appreciate you, and I did see your comment, but it's not come up now on the thing because StreamYard, I don't know how it works. But we've got Carlos, my hype man. Good morning, Helen and chat. Sending my usual hello from a possibly 80-degree weather in New Jersey, or at least that's what they say the weekend will be. Oh, it's heating up in New Jersey. I feel like last time it was in the 40s or the 50s. I'll catch the replay later, and in the meantime, let's all hit the like and why not subscribe. Yeah, I mean, like, subscribe. It's free. It's appreciated. I'd love it if you did it, but it's up to you. Toy collectors here. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're doing well. The broke collectors here. Good morning, everyone. And for those of you living in the future, good evening. Yeah, good evening. In some parts of Australia, it's already Saturday. The one not hot toys thing I have in the schedule is the Blitzway Ecto 1, because the broke collector is my foundation member. And when I said I couldn't stream last week, he was like, we'll just have to talk about the DeLorean. Goodness, someone's going to cancel me for that. So I do have the Blitzway DeLorean on the docket. We'll talk about that as well. But everything else is hot toys. And I did that just for you, Broke Collector, because I appreciate you. Can't hear the fan. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. I just, for some reason, when I put my headphones in, I thought I could hear it. And I was just like, the fan has to stay. So thank you. I appreciate you confirming that. AJ Agrees is here. Good morning, friends. Hope all is well. Hey, AJ, how you doing? Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Mike's here as well. Mike Failer. Hey, everyone. I'm excited we're actually getting to 85 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow. Finally. Glad to have you back this week, Helen. Thank you. 85 Fahrenheit. I feel like that's maybe in the 20s here, which is lovely weather. I was hoping we would have much cooler weather, but yeah, it's been crazy. We had like 40 something degrees Celsius on Monday, and it's just been 38, which is I think around 100 for most of the week, which I have not enjoyed. I would like some nice autumn weather, please. I don't love the heat. Gilbert's here. Welcome back. A lot to talk about. I know, and I had there was stuff from last week as well, and I was just like, if I include the last week's stuff with the this week's stuff, I will be streaming for 38 hours. So I've had to limit it down, so apologies, folks. But, I mean, if you got questions or things you want to talk about, like, we can bring it up in the chat. I will do my best to talk about the things. AJ, yeah, it's getting rather crazy with all the comments on Anakin. I think it looks great. Wish I'd been able to PO, but for now I'm hoping my waitlist converts. Well, I mean, some people have said their waitlists are converting, so some people are obviously cancelling. And I think it's interesting because I did put together a slide just showing the promo image, the blogger photo, and a photo that JC Hong shared. But I just think we have such a bad habit in this community of absolutely flying off the rails at blogger photos. And I take them with a grain of salt. I really think until you start seeing the in-hand video footage, like, to me, that's the real litmus test rather than, like, the blogger photos. Because even when I looked at the blogger photos, like, there was some photos that the hair looked a bit dark. There was other photos where it didn't look too dark. That's why I just think the in-hand video, and that's where I would love if Hot Toy starts not just doing the blogger photos, but give us some videos. Like, I know for certain releases, they've shared the reels that Figure Hideout has done, and I think that's actually a really clever move. So I would love to see them start releasing a video at the same time as the photos, because I think you just get such a different view of the figure when you can see a video. So I would love to see Hot Toys starting to do that for every release, because I would hope that would calm some of the hysteria that seems to keep happening. Deadpool red suit. Hello all. Sabine Wren is here and in the display cabinet. Lovely figure. And last night I displayed John Wick 4. Great figure. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love my John Wick 4. I just need to maybe pose him a bit. But that's awesome. A couple of new arrivals. It's always good. 7-hour marathon. Let's go. Oh goodness. I hope not. If I can keep this to 2 hours, I'll be pretty proud of myself. I'm not going to lie. Mitchell Lawrence, afternoon. Checking in from London, UK. Well, good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for dropping by. Raymond's here. Good afternoon from the Netherlands. Oh, cool. I've got I feel like I've got 4 people now in the Netherlands. I've got cousin Anthony, I've got Gilbert, I've got Katya, and I've got yourself. So that's so cool. At what point can I say I'm big in Holland? How many viewers do I need? AJ saying we're finally starting to thaw here in Michigan too. We're supposed to be 20 Celsius today. Should be a nice one here too. Nice. 20 Celsius is like a winter's day here in Perth. It's so funny. At work, we've had a new starter who's moved over from the UK. So lucky her, because she's come and it's like this 100-degree week. And she was saying, like, back home, it's like 8 degrees Celsius. And I was like, I'm sorry, like 8 degrees Celsius, like in the day. Like, I think if we have a Celsius day that's less than 20, it's like a shock. Like, it rarely happens. So yeah, different parts of the world. Miss Batwoman, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday to you. Thank you for coming to hang out. You're in the hundreds, Helen. Oof, done with the cold, but definitely not ready for that kind of heat. Yeah, Like, I tend to compare Western Australia to a bit like Phoenix and Las Vegas. It's quite hot and dry. Um, Definitely not as hot as Phoenix when I was there in July, because that was like 48 degrees. I think it was 118. And they were literally handing out like bottles of water on the street. It was I've never been somewhere that's so hot that they're handing out free bottles of water on the street. But yeah, in the summer here, like we definitely get a lot of like sort of 40 to maybe might get up to 44, 45 degrees Celsius, which I think is maybe like 110 to 112, which is not a fun time. Don't love it. Like I always say, I'm a winter person, but as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that like winter for me is like not cold by comparison to the rest of the world. So, but yeah, it's not to be so late in March and be having this weather is not a typical thing. Like we had before that really nice weather, like maybe I'd say maybe 85 to 90 Fahrenheit. But then this week's just been a heat wave that's come out of nowhere. So I'm hoping that it's meant to cool down on Sunday, Monday. So I'm hoping like this is the last of the heat for a while because I don't enjoy it. Ash is here. What's up, plastic crackheads? Ash, how are you? You must be excited for the battling version of Deadpool. We'll talk about that this evening. I'd be keen to know your thoughts and what you think about that and whether you'll be picking that one up. Speaking of unboxing, I'm unwrapping another package of the mint Tim Tams in case anyone was wondering. Oh goodness, they wouldn't survive in this weather for me. That's cool. I'm so glad you're into the Tim Tams. Trying to think, what have I had recently? I don't know if anybody's going to know what these are. I made a thing called Honey Joys. So we had like a morning tea at work and I made Honey Joys. And I don't know if these are a thing outside of Australia. Ash maybe knows what they are, but basically it's like cornflake cereal and you make a mixture with like, you melt butter and sugar and honey and you mix the cornflakes in this batter and you put them in like little cupcake cases and you bake them for like 10 minutes. It's a very big like kids party food here in Australia that I absolutely love. And it's quick and easy to make and it's funny because I always am like, oh, is this a bit dorky making Honey Joys? But whenever I take them somewhere, I think the childhood nostalgia just gets to people and they're just like, oh my God, Honey Joys. The other thing I'd love to know, Mike, while you got me on the topic of food, do people know what hot cross buns are? Because I had this conversation with my new co-worker from the UK. Because I had bought some hot cross buns and we have like a little snack area for our team and I bought some hot cross buns and hot cross buns are huge in Australia. Like we get to Boxing Day, which is like the day after Christmas, and the hot cross buns are out. And the big thing now is like flavor variations of hot cross buns. Like you guys in the States have Cinnabon, and this year they've brought out Cinnabon hot cross buns, which are amazing. So they're like a big thing in Australia. And my co-worker was saying that they have them in the UK, but not for as long as we have them in Australia. Are they even a thing in the US? Do you have hot cross buns in the US? I'd love to know if you do. Because they're so huge in Australia. I feel like they're such a big thing here. And I do love them. And the Cinnabon ones are absolutely amazing. I literally bought a couple of packets to put in my freezer so I can have them when Easter's over. But yeah, I don't know. Hot cross buns, like, are they a thing in other places of the world? Or is this just a Australia, England thing? Like, I have no idea if they even exist in America. I'd love to know. JB Velo, howdy or howdy to you. Thank you for stopping by. We've got Mike. I was just about to ask if these are like Cinnabon. I personally haven't heard of those hot cross buns. Oh, interesting. They're like a little bun for Easter. So they traditionally have cinnamon and fruit, and there's literally got a white cross on it. So it's very much an Easter thing. So they started off as this very traditional thing. And then we started getting hot cross buns with chocolate chips. Then they started doing like mocha hot cross buns. So they would have like a coffee flavoring and the chocolate chips. Then they were doing like apple and cinnamon and all these variations of like popular Australian snack foods that I don't know if they exist elsewhere in the world. So there's like iced Vovos, which are a biscuit. There's iced Vovos hot cross buns. There's Wagon Wheel hot cross buns. But then they've got the Cinnabon ones. So they're just don't have the fruit in them, but they're got like a lot of cinnamon. And then in the middle, there's like a bunch of like the cream cheese frosting. So interesting. I'm guessing they're not a thing in the US then. Deadpool red suit. I love hot cross buns. Cut them in half, toast them, and add butter. Available all year here in the UK. Oh, really? All year? Interesting, because my coworkers seem to think they were not available that long. Because like we get to Boxing Day, and it literally becomes a news item because people get outraged that we've only just had Christmas. Why are the hot cross buns here? And I'm like, well, because they're delicious. But yeah, I love a hot cross bun. But we have so many variations. Like they even made like Vegemite ones, and I was like, no, we've gone too far. Like Vegemite ones, how dare you? AJ, oh, we do have hot cross buns here, but Cinnabon ones sound absolutely fantastic. Yeah, they're so good. I had a coworker tell me to put them like in the air fryer for a couple of minutes to heat them up, and that was an amazing recommendation. Hence why I put some in the freezer for later on. Costa's here, Kalimera, watching from the doctor's office. Well, I hope you're well, sir. Kalimera to you. I hope it's going to be a Kalimera for you. Costa, I've actually written down a quote of yours about the Darth Vader exclusive that I was going to talk about in the stream. So I saw your post and I agree with what you were saying. So I'll be referencing that a little bit later. But I hope you're doing well, buddy, and so lovely to see you in the chat. I've seen pastries with the white crosses on them, but don't know if they're the same thing as what you're describing. It's very much like a bun, like a sweet bun. Like a pastry to me is something like a croissant. So I don't know, maybe. It's entirely possible it's regional in the US, though, depending on the culture that's settled in that region. Oh, interesting. Quite possibly. But yeah, guys, food chat with Helen. It's always a treat. I'm just trying to check that I thought I had missed one. Never heard of Honey Joys, but kind of reminds me of Rice Krispie treats. So like, yeah, but different, because we have we do chocolate crackles in Australia. So that's with like the rice bubbles, but they put like cocoa powder and I think coconut and this stuff called kofa, and they make those. So you like at a kid's birthday party, you'd have chocolate crackles and Honey Joys, but Honey Joys are very much with cornflakes. And just delicious. Like I freaking love them so much. Hot cross bun. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because they're delicious, Ash. Like we're obsessed with them here. Even like Woolworths has hot cross bun mud cake, which I'm intrigued by because I freaking love a Woolworths mud cake. Big Ribs here. Hello, Helen. Hello to you. Happy Friday. Thank you for coming by. Luminara's here. Hello, Lumi. How are you? Happy Friday. Lovely to see you in the chat. Don't mind me, though. My exposure to certain food is limited. I'm very Italian. Oh, it's fine. I'm kind of Greek and kind of Australian. Ash, I haven't had them in a long time. Wow. I typically limit the period of which I allow myself to buy hot cross buns because I will just live on them. But I had to try these Cinnabon ones, and ever since it's been like a downward spiral of Helen and the hot cross buns having an amazing time. But yeah, interesting that some people in the US have heard of them and some haven't, because yeah, sometimes with things I do wonder, I'm like, is it just the UK thing that's like trickled down into Australia, or is it something that is big elsewhere? Because I know like in Greece, for example, like not a thing. For Easter, they have a chureki, which Costa would know, which is a sort of, I'd compare it to like a brioche, but it just has an amazing flavour using particular spices like mahlepi, which are not particularly, I think, mainstream, certainly not in Australia, and I look forward to that every year because it's flippin' delicious. Never heard of it here in California. Okay, it may just be, maybe AJ's right. Maybe it's a regional thing with the hot cross buns. They are best toasted. Yeah, delicious. Like, yeah, heated up, warm butter, so good. But these Cinnabon ones, because they've got the cream cheese icing, like, do not need butter. They are just so good. Just so good with the cream cheese icing. Love a hot cross bun, especially the caramel variants available in the UK these days. Oh, interesting. We don't have caramel in Australia. Lord knows we have every other variation. I think I also saw white chocolate and raspberry. Don't like white chocolate, so no thank you. Caramel would be delicious though. I can imagine that being quite nice. I have to say I also really like the mocha ones because I do like coffee flavored things. They're so good. Keith Lee, hello fellow collectors. Let's get the weekend started. Yeah, absolutely. The weekend is here for me. Helen, I still have another hour and a half till lunch and now I'm hungry. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like have some Tim Tams like stashed away at your desk that you can have? Like, that's a delicious treat. Someone told me they was it you, Mike, who said they tried to do the Tim Tam Slam but they weren't quite quick enough? Like, the timing is key. The timing is key, guys. The hot cross bun mostly eaten on Good Friday and Easter. The signature cross making symbolizing the crucifixion of Jesus and the end of Lent. Red Bull dead suit with some facts, absolutely. This is the thing, because I think they're only meant to be for a short period of time, but in Australia, like Boxing Day, it's a free-for-all. They're just everywhere until Easter, because we're just obsessed with them down here, seriously. All right, that's enough food chat with Helen. Let's get into some figure chat with Helen, because, guys, there is so much to talk about today. Can I keep this to a 2-hour stream? Probably not. Probably not. I ate one time just to hold me over. I'll have to be good or I'll eat the whole thing. Yeah, I hear you. I can't have Tim Tams in the house because as soon as I open a packet, they will be gone. So, guys, I just wanted to give you a quick update on my PSA from my stream that was now 2 weeks ago. So, I brought up some issues that was happening with One Man's Hobby / William Wang. So just a quick reminder, this is the website that he sells from, and this is the Facebook group. So the website's been around for maybe 12 months. The Facebook group's been around for a long time. So as I mentioned to you, William has got this growing trend of going AWOL, and it's happening more and more frequently. So in January, dude went missing. No one really heard from him. Then he said, oh, Chinese New Year, going on a break. Okay, but then Chinese New Year ended. No sign of William. We then got this very sort of, as I described it, I felt flippant comment on the 22nd of February, but yet nothing else. This post, nothing. And if you didn't see my last stream, I shared a number of comments from people in the group who were very concerned. They weren't hearing back. Some guy, I think he said he had like maybe 40 pre-orders. He wasn't hearing back. Other people were saying they had thousands of dollars in pre-orders. They weren't hearing back. Someone was saying they were about to miss out on a replacement part for a $4,000 statue because William's not getting back to them. Other people had bought display cases and were not getting replacement parts. So I just did the PSA to make people aware of that in my last stream. So interestingly, last Saturday, a month later, who pops up back into the internet after a lot of people made fuss? And it was interesting because going back, this post got full on. People were like posting the guy's phone number and address. It was a lot. And then the dude emerges. And what gets me is there's no acknowledgement of the fact he went missing again. No acknowledgement of the issues people concerned. He just deleted that last post. Got rid of that last post, come back a month after that post like nothing's happened, just making sales posts like everything is normal. So I just want to reiterate, like, tread with caution with some of these resellers because some of these signs are concerning to me. And I know some people said, oh, well, I contacted the website and, you know, oh, the person was very positive. Yeah, from what I understand, like, they're his family members. So, of course, they're going to say everything's fine and there's nothing wrong with the business, nothing to see here. So just be wary of that. And also, I just want to share, because this guy, as I say, has not acknowledged the way he's left customers hung out to dry, the way he's not communicated. And then he's just come out of nowhere, just posting sales posts and even like deleting comments. So there were a couple of people because he's come out of nowhere, and then I swear there was like 4 sales posts out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay, you're wanting deposits now. Okay. But there were people here like, yeah, I'm going to hold off on any pre-orders from here on now. And someone saying, sorry, I'm done until I see proper activity for a few months. These comments were all getting deleted. So, as I say, I know for me, I'm done. No more pre-orders for me through William Wang or One Man's Hobby. I don't like what I've seen, and I just think coming back and not providing any sort of rationale or acknowledging the issues and the concerns people have put out there into his group, I think just shows a really strong disregard for his customer base. So for me, I'm sticking with your 1/6 kits, with your giant toys, pop culture. I have a lot more trust in them as retailers. So I just wanted to give you that update because there seems to be this faithful group of fans that want to keep going onto Reddit and Facebook and particularly in this group. And I got this and it's all great. And you guys were worried about nothing. No, like the comments I saw from people. And as I say, if you see my previous stream, I shared countless screenshots, which for me were cause for concern. So tread with caution, guys. Tread with caution. That's all I'm going to say. Quan Harper's here. Good morning, Helen and chat. Good morning, Quan. How you doing? And for the Broke Collector, let's talk a little bit about this Back to the Future DeLorean from Blitzway. JB got one pre-order for Batman Returns from William. Yeah, I hope it's not problematic for you is all I'll say. I hope anybody who's got pre-orders with him is fine. Hopefully he's back. But as I say, I've just noticed that these little periods of going AWOL are increasing. And I know for me, the level of communication and customer service I've been getting now compared to when I first started buying from him has declined rapidly. So the things I had on pre-order with him, I've actually gone and secured elsewhere because I have no faith in the guy. And I'm trying to get some refunds on those deposits. So we'll see how I go. Anthony Stanfield, hi Helen, the pre-order system has to change. Paying for a figure 2 years plus in advance is crazy and risky for collectors. Well, this is what gets me, Anthony, because I think a lot of people had built up trust with William and were doing payment plans and just handing over money. And I know one collector had, I think he'd said had like $4,700 like handed over to William and couldn't even get replies to messages. So for me, I'm kind of going, I personally don't pay more than a minimum deposit. That's how I roll. But I think a lot of people had bought from him, were messaging him, kind of maybe started to see the guy as a friend. And then it just felt, you know, I think the comparison we make now is Toys of Wonderland. Is there shades of Toys Wonderland here? Like, yeah, I felt like there was because people were pre-ordering items, seeing people getting those items from other retailers and getting nothing but crickets chirping from William. Like, that's a concern for me. And as I say, this isn't the first time it's happening. This seems to be happening more and more. And that's what concerns me. Hence why I'm not going to pre-order anything else from him again. Got my avocado Batman this week. I thought people saying it wasn't bad in hand was saving face, but it really isn't bad in hand. I'm happy now. Well, this is the thing, Anthony. I did a live unboxing and I was not sure what to expect, but honestly, I feel like in hand, in natural conditions, to me, it looks okay. I think if you're putting it in like harsh lighting for photography or videos, it perhaps it exaggerates it a bit. But I know for me in my cabinet, I look at it and I'm like, okay, it is a bit different to the DX9, but I'm not sitting here going, it's a train wreck, I hate it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm glad that you're happy with it because when I got it, I was happy with it too. I didn't really see what the fuss was about. I'm with you, Helen. I go pop culture and have Lady Pool on the way. Oh, that's cool. I had hoped Joker would have been in their last batch, but sadly not. So hopefully April. But I really want that Joker. I've been waiting a long time. I'm glad I came into the collecting game when I did, because everyone has steered me away from resellers. Pop culture was a leap for me, but there's been nothing but good things said about them. Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad stance to take, Mike. And I've said that, like, I wanted Artisan Bucky. I've bought that through a different reseller, Jeremy Kaza. I've done that knowing that's a risk. And again, I've paid the minimum deposit. If I get burnt, that's on me. And this is literally the first time I've pre-ordered a Hot Toys figure. I had done some third-party pre-orders with William just because it was nice. With So Toys, that kit doesn't sell. To lock that in with the Aussie dollar, which isn't great, and the PayPal conversion fee's even worse. But it's not worth it. So hence now, for my tough stuff, I'm going to stick with Giant Toys, and then for other third-party stuff, I'll be going through kit. I'm just not going to deal with some of these places that just, as I say, I don't feel have much respect or courtesy for their customers. Uncarded reviews. I pre-ordered that Blitzway DeLorean day one. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. And yeah, guys, I have to say it's been really interesting to look at some of this information about the DeLorean, because like Hot Toys has done 3 of these, right? Like we know that. So we're sitting here going, Blitzway, you're going to do a DeLorean. Like, what are you going to do differently? What are you bringing to the party? So I think it's interesting because this one appears to be, it is from the second movie, which I know some people were like, oh, why the second movie? I think the second movie is potentially the more popular of the 3. So I can kind of get that. But what I thought was interesting is we've got the special gifts, which nice touch. So you can get the hoverboard, the license plate, and the 2 license plates, which is cool. So that's during the particular promotion period. And if I remember correctly, was this like $1,000 US from their website, including free shipping? Because if so, that seems like a pretty good deal if that price is including shipping with this vehicle, which vehicles are not small. So I kind of felt like that price was pretty good. I know I went onto the Pop Culture website today and that was listed at, I think, 1,800 Australian dollars. So I think even with the exchange rate, if you're buying that directly from Blitzway and it does include free postage, you're getting it significantly cheaper, even buying it there. I think you'd probably be at about maybe 14-ish hundred US, Australian. So cheaper than Pop Culture, even if you're doing pre-order stacking reward points on it, that's still a cheaper deal than what you'll get at Pop Culture. And then a whole bunch of features. And it's interesting because I think with features like this, it's a very subjective thing. I know people like me, I've said it about Jazz Inc., I'll say it about this Blitzway thing. Do some of these things appeal to me? Not really, but I think it's very cool and I think it's very innovative, some of the stuff that Blitzway is trying to give you. So we've got automatic doors and windows, which is impressive. We've got turn signal sound and LED lights. We've got LED brake lights. We've got motorized wheels. We've got a front wheel steering, which is cool. Exterior blue light and underside lighting. We've got interior details and wiring depiction. This font's a bit funky. And the base. So it's interesting because some of this stuff, I think was it Jazz Inc. who had talked about a motorized canopy and it couldn't be done. So quite interesting that I know it's not the same doing automatic doors and windows, but I think it is quite interesting to have, you know, Blitzway saying magnet stick activates the sensors automatically opening doors and windows. Like, for me, are these selling points for a collector like me? No, but I can appreciate how innovative this is. And I think if they pull this off, this will be quite interesting because I can only imagine that this Blitzway DeLorean, I think, would be a vehicle that would probably be made at a much bigger scale than what some of these Jazz Inc. vehicles have been made at. So I think if they can deliver on these features well at that price point, I think this becomes a bit of a game changer when it comes to vehicles. I really do. But I have to say, and I'd love to know, people in the chat, because as I said, Hot Toys has made 3 DeLoreans. If you have a DeLorean, are you sitting here going, Helen, I'm happy with my Hot Toys DeLorean. I don't care about this. Or is there a part of you that's going, actually, I think I want this DeLorean with all the bells and whistles that's coming from Blitzway. Like, I genuinely would love to know. Because I can say for me, hand on heart, like, I've got my 2 Hot Toys tumblers. People have said to me, Jazz Inc. is doing tumblers. Are you going to get those tumblers? And I'm like, no, I'm happy with what I have. So I'm curious to know, for Back to the Future fans, A, do you have a DeLorean? And even how many do you have? And does this tempt you? Because as I said, like, I know some of these things might be seen as a bit gimmicky, but I still think it's cool because, as I said, if you're coming to market with a vehicle that's been done 3 times, to bring these kinds of innovations with it, I think is really clever. And I know it's not for me, but I am genuinely interested to see the execution and how well can Blitzway pull this off. Like, I genuinely think some of the stuff that they've done here, it would be cool to see in some other vehicles in the future. So, like, let me know what you're thinking. As I said, I looked at these features and I went, like, I think people would be impressed. Like, I know people have been impressed with sound effects and smoke and stuff like that with Jazz Inc., but automatic doors and, like, brake lights that work and, like, steering, like, that's, like, I'm assuming there's a fair amount of engineering that's going into that. Like, I have to say, like, to me, that is impressive. Giant toys, wow, they must be huge. Sorry, that's a bad joke. They're big in Hong Kong. Another DeLorean Dopo collector here. Oh, that's cool. It seems like quite a few people have jumped on this Blitzway. Yeah, I can't justify a grand for this. I still have a mortgage. Yeah, look, I get that, Mike. And I know for me, I always say, like, I have a ceiling as to how much I'm prepared to pay. And if people want to pay more, like, all good for them. But as I said, I was quite surprised that at the price this came in at, because those Jazz Inc. vehicles are typically a lot more expensive and they don't have some of these functions. And I know Yoast, oh, this is small and it's underscaled. Okay, mate, whatever. As I say, I feel like for the money you're paying, there is a lot of features that you're not getting in other vehicles of similar prices. Keith, yep, $9.99 with free US shipping and only $79 deposit. Wow. Apparently sales tax will be added. Dopo for me. Oh, okay, this seems like there's quite a few people on the DeLorean train. Valkyrie's here. Good morning, Helen. Hello, Valkyrie. How you doing? Happy Friday. This sucks. I bought the Hot Toys one. This seems to be a better one. Oh, how long ago did you buy the Hot Toys one? I think that's a tricky thing. Like, I don't know that anyone thought another company was going to tackle the DeLorean. So I know for me, I was really surprised that Blitzway was doing this. I had kind of heard they were maybe looking at redoing that original Ecto one. So as far as vehicle announcements, that's sort of what I expected to see from them. I definitely didn't think we'd be seeing the DeLorean from them. I have no issues with the Hot Toys versions. They just weren't the right DeLorean for me at the time. I'm glad the other companies have an opportunity to present their interpretation of this product. Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool. I feel like most of the stuff Blitzway's done has been pretty good. Like, I haven't bought any of their stuff, admittedly. I have seen their Kurt Cobain figure. I did see that in Bob's collection. I know Joao had, like, the Ecto one and the Ghostbusters. I think those Ghostbusters are probably, the bodies have been a bit problematic over time, but they're redoing those. So I'll be really keen to see how they come out. But I feel like generally they do a pretty good job with things. So I'm quite keen to see how this goes. And as I say, like, it'll be interesting. Is it just the vehicle? Will they look to do figures as well? Interesting times. I can't believe this DeLorean has so many 6-scale features like a real car. Glad we don't need 6-scale insurance. Well, but that's what gets me. Like, the features are impressive. And as I said, I know for me, it's I don't need these things, but I'm still impressed by the fact that they've gone there and they've been innovative and they've taken something that's been done and produce it in a way that I can see some people going, if I'm only going to have one, perhaps this is the one that I want to have. Impressive engineering for sure. Blitzway is not perfect, but at least different from Hot Toys versions. I have all the Hot Toys DeLoreans too. Just love the car. Oh, interesting, JB. And you said you'd pre-ordered this one as well. So are you gonna keep all four, or will you then, once you get this, kind of decide which ones you do and don't keep? Because vehicles are a big space commitment. Like I say that, like I've got the 89 and the 2 tumblers, and I honestly don't know that I would get any other vehicles because they are such a big, they take up so much space. So for me, I feel like, you know, Batman's my guy. These are iconic vehicles. I had to have them. But then other Batman vehicles like the Justice Mobile and the 22, I just haven't had that, like, need to have them. I haven't, Shuri. I haven't. My little friend's joined us. I don't know if she's going to jump up on the screen. What are you doing? You telling me some stories? This is on pop culture too. Yeah, Ash. I think it was, I feel like it was $1,800 or $1,900 on pop culture. So I don't know what the shipping situation is. Like Keith mentioned, free US shipping, but I mean, if you can get this for like $9.99 US with free shipping, like that would be cheaper than going through pop culture. And then also potentially the free gifts, which I don't think you get with pop culture. Gilbert says, I'm fine with my DeLorean Part 2. If they make Kit from Knight Rider, then they got my attention and money. Yeah, there's a few people wanting Knight Rider. I don't know if anybody's going to make him, but I feel like I see a lot of people showing an interest in that. I bought mine a couple of years ago when they were released from Hot Toys. Okay, so you've had it for a little while. Interesting. We'll likely keep all the 1/6 scale DeLoreans. I have the 1/8 scale Eagle Moss 2, which has been customized and is the most accurate. Oh, interesting. I'm not familiar with that one. That's a lot of DeLorean. Hi, Shuri. Yeah, she's gone now. My little monkey, she's doing something. Hopefully no gifts tonight. That would be delightful if we had no gifts. But yeah, as I say, like, vehicle looks super impressive, and I'm very keen to see how well they can execute on some of these things, because I think it could really raise expectations for other companies as to what collectors start to expect when it comes to vehicles. He says, I believe Jazz Inc. mentioned they're actively pursuing the Knight Rider license. I know it gets brought up. I'll be honest, I can't remember, because I feel like there's also people have asked them about Jurassic Park vehicles, and is it like the Aston Martin from James Bond? I think it's from James Bond. So I know they get a lot of suggestions at them, but I feel like I don't know what they've committed to aside from Batmobiles, because they do tend to be the ones that sell the best for them, is my understanding. I loved Kit. If they do it, got to have the red light going back and forth across the front, and to guarantee my PO, add the audio swooshing sound. Yeah, audible swooshing sound. Yeah, I mean, Jazz Inc. do love to include the audio in there. So, oh, there she is. Little Shuri. You're showing everyone your tail. Your magnificent tail. See, you can just... It's the best tail ever. Guys, Helen's got some hot takes on the Star Wars this week. So as I say, if you're a Star Wars fan and you've come this far and this is what pushes you off the edge, I commend you for sticking with me for this long. Look, I feel like there's two things I'm going to say a lot in 2025, and it's, let's 2025 be the year of USB light up. And I didn't have this on my 2025 bingo card. I certainly didn't have life-size Grogu on my 2025 bingo card, because Hot Toys has done this and Sideshow has done this. And I don't really know that Grogu has changed that much, that we requires it. But he comes with a bag. And I don't know if people watch The Simpsons, but this feels like the episode, please indulge me, when Lisa brings out the Lisa Lionheart figure and then they bring out the Malibu Stacy and it's like, oh, but she's got a new hat. And that was the whole thing. Like, Smithers going, Lisa's like, oh, it's just like every other Malibu Stacy. And Smithers just like, but she's got a new hat. This is what this is. But it's got a bag. It's Grogu, but it's got a bag. And honestly, guys, no to this. I don't want to see people walking around with Grogu in the satchel. Unless you are Pedro Pascal or you are some like serious cosplayer. Do not do this. Do not do this. This is not, no, because you know what's going to happen? A bad time's going to happen because people are going to want to touch your Grogu. That sounds so inappropriate. It's going to get damaged. No, this is not a thing. Let's just walk around town with Grogu in a satchel. No. Are you the Mandalorian? No. Leave Grogu at home. This is so unnecessary. This is so unnecessary, Howie Claus. Like I can't get a Koye, but we can do another Grogu. Like, who needed another life-size Grogu? Like, what was wrong with the other ones? Like, there's 2 that have been made. And I don't see how this is any different, but it comes with this ridiculous bag. And I hope to God no one has plans to walk around with Grogu in the satchel. Because to me, this is just ridiculous. Like, this thing is going to cost a bomb. And do you know what you're going to have? You're going to have kids with their grubby little hands wanting to touch your baby Yoda. And they're going to get their grubby hands with crap all over your baby Yoda. And it's going to end in tears, your tears. Don't walk around with baby Grogu, baby Yoda, whatever he's called, in the satchel, for the love of God. Why did we need this? Howie Claus. Helen, I know you're getting this right. Well, Miss Allison's probably going to do it, and she's probably going to walk around the house wearing it just to annoy me, because I think this is ridiculous. Do you know what gets me? I saw this photo and I was like, can I get the Hot Toys t-shirt that guy's wearing? Like, forget Baby Yoda in the satchel. Can I have the t-shirt with the Hot Toys logo? That's the only thing that interests me in this. The black t-shirt with the little Hot Toys logo. I love me some branded merch. I would buy that every day of the week. This is completely unnecessary. Who needed this? Who asked for this? Like, all the characters that they haven't made. Is it because this one's mouth can close? Is that the difference? Like, which one couldn't, like, there was one of them, I can't remember if it was Sideshow or Hot Toys, that you couldn't close the mouth because it damaged. Like, is that what the difference is here? Like, I don't know. But seriously. Who's walking around with frickin' Grogu in a satchel in day-to-day life? This is ridiculous. Yeah, it's time for Star Wars Hour with Miss Allison. Look. Crikey Moses. I saw this and I just couldn't have been more underwhelmed. I could not have been more underwhelmed. My Grogu 2.0, I hope it goes ASAP on pre-order. Wow, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I've probably offended some people. But as I say, if you're a Star Wars fan and this is where you check out, I take my hat off to you for hanging with me for this long. Hiya, Helen and Shuri. Glad you're feeling better. Hello, Natalie. How are you? I am feeling better, thank you. I just had a bit of a wretched headache that sat with me for a few days. So I kind of thought if I streamed, I was like, I'm just going to be such a narky person that no one's going to enjoy that. I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it either. So, yeah, back and doing my best. So thank you for dropping by. Lovely to see you. I do. Wow. Everybody wants Grogu. I don't want Grogu. For now, Grogu is the figure I'm looking forward to. Really? This Grogu is dope for me. I didn't get either of the prior versions. Crikey. Lol, stop touching my Grogu. But it sounds inappropriate. That's what's going to happen. Don't be walking around with your Grogu, because your Grogu is going to get assaulted. And then we're going to have people complaining. Like, you're going to have kids, like, pulling at the ears, pulling at that wispy hair. No one should be doing this. The only, like, if you had, like, a 1-to-1 Mandalorian and you put this on him, cool. But does anybody have that? Probably not. So again, maybe if you're a really serious cosplayer, or if you're Pedro, this is for you. For everyone else, like, what are we doing, folks? What are we doing? Hot Toy saving me money. Yeah, me too, man. Grogu will fit well with Gizmo from is it Trick or Treat Studios? Goodness, totally need this for the conventions and Mando cosplay. Well, see, that's the thing. If you're like, as I said, if you're a serious cosplayer, I can understand this. For Joe Public, like next time I go to Hong Kong, I don't want to see people walking around with Grogu in a satchel. I will do it dressed as Deadpool. Oh, Ashe. Okay, mate. I honestly thought we were done with the life-size Grogu. I'm not mad at this, but just surprised by this announcement. Me too. Like, I thought Grogu, Baby Yoda, Feather, whatever, I thought that was over. I thought we were done with that. And isn't there meant to be a Mandalorian movie or something with Grogu in it? Like, this just feels very random to just get this on its own with no context. To me, no context. I don't know. Is there some context I'm missing? Very likely, because we all know I don't do the Star Wars. Can never get enough life-size Grogu joke. Well, I mean, there's probably some people who can't get enough of him. The Star Wars Grogu isn't for me. Fair enough, Natalie. Helen, I've seen people pushing Cabbage Patch Kitchen strollers, so I'm prepared to say this. Well, I've seen people that have the, like, lifelike dolls. No comment, because I have nothing nice to say. Oh my god, can you imagine if Hot Toys made a life-size Gizmo from the movie Gremlins? But at least that hasn't been done before. Like, there's 2 life-size Baby Yodas. Did we need a third? I don't know, in theory, we don't need any of this stuff, but I'm like, really? Like, as I say, all the characters that people are crying out for that haven't been made, let's make another life-size Grogu. A sack of Grogu. It is a sack of Grogu. A big old sack of Grogu. Shouts here. Hello, everyone. I'm a little late. I'm trying to, are you trying to say, we know you're going to buy the Grogu and satchel and walk around with it? Oh, yeah, it's my dream. I could think of nothing else. I might do a GoFundMe for everyone to buy me Grogu and satchel. But guys, you don't want me touching Grogu and the satchel because, like, I will remind you, like, Bob Dylan made me touch a lightsaber from, what was the show? Was it Acolyte? And then that show got cancelled like the next day. So you don't want me anywhere near this because it will get cancelled. My vibes will cancel The Mandalorian and Grogu and everyone will be sad. People are going to be calling social services for mistreatment of the kid. Wow. I think the 1.0 Grogu took ages to finally sell out and I can still find it locally at retailers. Interesting. So curious if this 2.0 will even PO all that much. Easiest skip of the year for me. Well, this is what I figured, Raymond. I figure if you really wanted this, would you not have bought one of the other 2? Because you had 2 choices. You had the Hot Toys one and the Sideshow one. The 1.0 was released in 2021. But if people can still find it in some retail settings, what does that kind of say to you? You can walk with it when you go shopping. Yeah, I can imagine people doing all kinds of things with their Grogu. And then, as I say, it's going to end in tears. Their tears. Life-size Gizmo has happened. Oh, not by Hot Toys. I didn't realise someone had done a life-size Gizmo. Helen, you know you could just put your voice recording saying help, help. I don't even know what that means, Ashe, because I have not seen anything Mandalorian. And I think the last time I saw anything Star Wars was 1996 when I got forced to the cinema by my brother who insisted, because one of the Star Warses was in the cinema with like 90 seconds of digitally remastered footage and isn't it excited? And I fell asleep. This is not for me, and that's fine. So I don't know any of these references. So is that because can Grogu talk? I don't even know. Does he speak English? I've got no idea. It's just a cash grab. I just don't get where this has come from. Because as I said, if there's a movie coming out, wouldn't you try to tie it to the movie rather than just doing a random, like, because the Mandalorian's not on at the moment. Like, there's not, like, I just don't get the timing of this as well. And I know that's Hot Toys, but I'm just like, really? Like, who asked for this? Helen, you know we'd all pitch in a GoFundMe to get this for you, so be careful what you wish for. Yeah, that's the uncanny thing. I'm pretty sure people would. Your brother sounds like a good chap. I guess if you're a Star Wars fan, just buy it, toss it out, the Grogu, and put Shuri in the bag to walk around with. Oh, goodness. Shuri would not be down for that. My goodness. That would be my dream. It would literally be my dream to be able to walk around with Shuri in a satchel bag, but I'm pretty sure she would flip out and lose her mind. And I wouldn't want to lose her either. So, yeah, I think I'd need to make sure it could, like, zip at the top, and it would maybe need, like, some mesh paneling so she could breathe and see. But yeah, I don't think Shuri would have a good time. Or maybe I could get a crowdfunded Grogu and I could just give it to Shuri and I could just film what Shuri does with it. And that would really make the Star Wars fans love me. So look, guys, what do you get? You get Grogu and you get a bag. That's what you're getting. As I said, does this look different to the other one? I don't know. I just am going, really, of all the things that I think so many people would like to see you make. Okoye, Zoe Kravitz Catwoman, Wong, so many characters. But no, let's do this again. Whatever. Speaking of whatever, guys, Darth Vader. Here we have dueling effect version Darth Vader. And it's interesting because this is another one. Clearly not for me, that's fine. But this is where I'm going to reference Costa. Costa, so I don't know if you're still in the chat, but I did see Costa's post on YouTube. So Costa over at Pop Culture Living Room, amazing content. If you haven't checked him out, why haven't you? So Costa made a statement, which I think is very valid when it comes to this figure. So Costa said he thinks something like this is a very good choice to have for a limited edition exclusive figure. And I'll just read, I wrote down what he said, so excuse me as I read. And he said, it's unique, but it's not integral to the main line. And I thought that was a really good point. And I think that's something I'd love to hear people's thoughts on, whether you're watching live or in the replay. Do you like this approach to exclusives? Because I totally get where Costa's coming from, where if something is an integral part of the line, no one wants it to be an exclusive. There's only 1,500, 3,000 produced. So you're going, I can't complete my movie, TV, whatever line because one of these figures is exclusive. So I think Costa raises a good point because this is not a Darth Vader for everyone. But if you don't buy this, your Star Wars collection is not necessarily going to be lacking through absence of fighting effect Vader or whatever the hell he's called. So I think that's a very interesting point because I've felt this way a little bit about the Artisan figures where I've said I can live with Artisan being limited when there's a standard release to accompany it. So I've really not loved when some of these Artisan figures, like Anakin, like Bucky, like Harley Quinn, don't then have a standard release that accompany them. And I've said that all along. Like, I wish that was a thing that if it's like, yep, we're doing this figure, we'll make as many of them as you need, but then we're going to do 3,000 Artisan limited with the rooted hair, with whatever other bells and whistles they want to throw in. Like, I think that's a good approach to take. And it's quite interesting because I know with Star Wars Celebration, it's is it Galen Erso that they're doing, and that's a limited edition figure. And I can understand that a character like that I don't think's been done before, I can see people getting frustrated. Some people might be like, I need that in my collection, and it's a limited edition figure. It's behind this paywall. It's going to be hard to get, and I can't complete my line. Whereas something like this, I'm going, yeah, I absolutely see Costa's point, because as much as I was like, my reaction is really, but I get it. It's for Star Wars Celebration. They're doing figures for that, so I totally get that. But I do think it's a really good point that Costa's made, that it's unique. A lot of people will think this is cool, but it's not integral to a main line. So I'm keen to know, would you like this to be an approach that Hot Toys does take with exclusive figures? I think it's an interesting question to ask. If Hot Toys did Dogpool, would you pick it up? I would not. I don't need Mary Poppins in my life. I have Shuri wherever she is, and she's all the furry creature I need in my life. So I woke up to this Vader, and I still don't know what it is, what makes this different from the others. So this one has the dueling effect version. So this kind of red and blue that you see, I guess it's this sort of funky paint application. So I'll move across here, because it otherwise looks like a standard Darth Vader. To me, am I a Darth Vader aficionado? No, we know I'm not. But that's the thing. It's this kind of, I guess it's meant to replicate like a lightsaber reflecting against his suit. So it's like these hues of blue and red that you see on the suit. And that's what this is my understanding. If there's something else I'm missing, please fill me in. And USB lightsabers, because 2025 is the year of USB. No more button cell batteries, please, Howie Claus. No one has time for it. I thought much the same, good for an exclusive, but as an OT Star Wars collector, not for me. That's fair enough, JB. I agree with Costa. This is the type of exclusive version that I can support. Yeah, I think so. I really do. I think, as I say, it's a cool thing that if you went to the event and you wanted to get the exclusive, or you were like, hey, I love Vader, I want everything Vader, you can get it. But for other collectors, I don't know that this is going to be a FOMO figure. I really don't think it is going to be a FOMO figure. Who in the chat knows what Darth Vader's body... Oh, sorry. Who in the chat knows what Darth Vader's body this is? Looks like ESB. What was in stock? Empire Strikes Back, or I don't know what body it is. Helen's not the person to know this. If Hot Toys made better lightsabers, we'd already have this effect in display without all the other Vaders. Ooh, with all the other Vaders. Interesting. So glad they chose an exclusive rather than something most really want. That's interesting, Raymond, because it's true. Because I know a lot of people go through that process of replacing lightsabers, getting new lightsabers, because some of the Hot Toys ones aren't very bright. So it's true. I guess if they were stronger, you could make this effect in your display without the need for the funky paint effect. It's true. It's a good point. I can't lie. My eye, it looks like it's lit up from the lightsaber. To my eye, it looks like it's lit up from the lightsaber. Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to emulate with this paint scheme. This McFarlane Toys version of Darth Vader and the Fractured Armor Iron Man are perfect exclusive versions, but Galen should have been a wider release. Well, that's my thing, because I think that's the first time they've done the character, so I can totally understand people getting a bit annoyed. I know some people have hypothesized, like, because I think there's been a few versions of the character, like, will we get a different version of him as a more broad release? I don't know, but I can understand the frustration of people to go, there's a character that's had multiple appearances and we're finally getting it, but it's an event exclusive with only 3,000. So what we don't know is, will it be like the convention, like the like summer convention exclusives where you have the fast batch at the event, but then later on there'll be a broader release? Like, this is what we don't know. And this is the thing, because then when people don't know, they go to these resellers and they panic buy and they buy at inflated prices, and then they feel ripped off because if it gets released later, they're like, well, dude, I paid like $700-800 or whatever for this thing, and now I can get it for a fraction of the price. So it's not a nice It's not a nice situation for collectors to be in, I don't think. Oh, that's really it. I thought it was just the lighting for the photo. No, I think it is that, like, that effect on the suit. I think that's what this whole figure is. Bargain bin. Oh. What's going to be bargain bin? Do you think this is going to be bargain bin Big Rib? I'm not sure about that. The movie canon. Morning collectors. Hello, movie canon. How are you? Happy Friday. Thanks for dropping by. AJ, I totally agree. Good exclusive here. I think it's unique, but doesn't work for me personally, so I'm happy. But other characters, this would be a lot more tempting. I think so. Alison would know which body this is. Look, Alison would, 100%. But Alison's not here, and I keep telling her, because she's like, you need to talk about this stuff. I'm like, go start your own YouTube channel, mate. Like, you go talk about the Star Wars and the Star Trek and the Stargate and the whatevers over there. Like, this is Helen's channel, and my only correspondent is Shuri, who, sadly, you can't hear her meows. I wish you could, because they're very cute. But look, Miss Allison, yeah, look. And this is the thing, because whenever they do something like this, you know what she says? We're one step closer to Neon Tech BB-8. It's going to happen. It's a thing. And I'm like, oh my God. I just can't imagine what her reaction's going to be if they ever make Neon Tech BB-8. But she sees things like this, and it gives her hope that Howard's going to make her a Neon Tech BB-8. And heaven help us if that day happens, because crikey. Allison, you're my last hope. There is no other. Look, yeah, look, maybe she'll answer in the comments. Who knows? Miss Allison, she knows all the Star Wars things and stuff. Kind of looks like cell shading. Tijuana Mike, aka King Churro. Happy Friday, collectors. Well, happy Friday to you. I don't know that I've seen you in the chat before, but welcome. Nice to have you join us. I mean, is Allison ever going to get started on that Star Wars channel? I'm still waiting. Well, she's a gunner. She's always gonna. She's gonna this. She's gonna that. Like, I made my garage shelving unit, and she's like, I'm going to do that because I'm army building my dewbacks. Her big, bloody, beautiful dewbacks. But has she done it? No. But then when I go to the hardware store, oh, could you tell me what garage shelves they have? And I'm like, no. Because I did this on my own. Do your own stuff on your own. I'm not your concierge. So she's gonna. Don't hold your breath. Figure in a bubble. With all due respect, whatever body it is, I know it's the usual tired trash this company craps out on the regular. It would be an insult to the bargain bin. Okay, that's a strong opinion. I've never owned a Vader to know. But that's a very strong opinion, and you're absolutely entitled to your opinion. So closing out on dueling effect version Darth Vader exclusive for, I think, Star Wars Celebration. Dude doesn't come with a lot. So you're getting the comic inspired dueling effect pattern. You've got the lightsaber with USB, and we love USB, so thank you, Howie Claus. You've got a bunch of hands and what looks to me to be a pretty typical display stand for Star Wars. So it is what it is. But I as I say, I do think Costa makes a really great point that if you're going to do an exclusive, something like this that doesn't create a gap in people's collection, I think it's a nice way to do it. Rick's Figs, happy Friday from Norway. Oh, that's cool. Norway. Well, happy Friday to you. I'm guessing it's afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good Friday. I'm currently Vaderless. Never got the conversion for the Kenobi Vader. Oh, is that the one with the like broken mask and you can see the head sculpt underneath? That everyone was like very hyped for last year, because I otherwise don't know what that is. Sorry, folks, you know I don't do the Star Wars. All right, so let's talk about some releases, because it was so nice to get some releases. So, oh, I was right. It was the cracked helmet. Look at me knowing something about the Star Wars. So we've got Across the Spiderverse, Miles Morales, and I have to say, I think this looks really cool. I have seen the first movie. I have not seen the second movie. You're all shocked, I know. But I have to say, particularly these sort of movement effects, like these pink add-on accessories, I just think they're really cool. People might think they look stupid, but when I saw these photos, I felt like they added a really nice dynamic element to the figure. Because we know Spider-Man figures, they can do some amazing poses. And all of the figures I saw with these pink effects, I just felt like just sort of took it to a next level. So I thought it was really cool. I also loved that we got this really nice view of the suit. So thank you to the blogger who is giving us these sort of 360-degree photos of the suit. I really appreciate getting to see all of the details because we don't often get photos of the back of the suit. So I think we're getting a really nice look at the costume. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of gives me the mask gives me kind of wrestler vibes. Is that just me? But I think it's cool. Like I purple's my favorite color. I think this color combo of the purple with the pink and the black, it's very striking. It's a bit different from all the other Miles suits that I can recall seeing. So I kind of think aesthetically this looks very cool to me. And what got me is, I'll be honest, I saw this photo and I just felt so impressed with the quality of the animated head sculpts Hot Toys does. And I feel like this photo is the kind of image to me. If you said to me this was a still from the movie, I'd believe you. Like, that's how good this looks to me. I genuinely, you know how sometimes like people will get Hot Toys images and not realize it's a figure and not from the movie and use it? I feel like this is that kind of photo. Like, this head sculpt to me looks really nice. And yeah, the couple of the photos I saw with the head sculpt and the posing, I was like, if you told me it was a still from the movie, I would absolutely believe that. I absolutely would believe that. Got Mike, this mask looks good, as do the rest of the line, but they're just not for me. That's fair. And that's the thing. There was a photo of, I think, the 4 figures that have come out from this line. And it looked really good. It looked really good. I was super impressed with it. Helen, now I can't unsee the wrestling mask. Look, me and my hot takes, right? I always come out with something, but it reminded me of those like old, I don't know what the right word for it is, but I know I used to watch, I think in the US it was a channel called Stars, which I don't even think exists anymore. There was like a wrestling show called Heels, and one of the characters had those old school wrestling masks. And that's what this reminded me of. I looked at that and I was like, oh my God, this reminds me of like an old school wrestling mask. So I hope I didn't wreck the movie for you. Like, I really hope I didn't, but that's what it looked like for me. Oh goodness, figure in a bubble. Love your channel, super chat. Thank you. That's so kind. I really appreciate that. Thank you for coming to hang out, and I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. As I say, I out here doing my best and trying to represent females in the hobby. So thank you. That's incredibly generous. Yeah, very kind. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. To be honest, the Prowler sounds like a good wrestling name. Oh, it does, doesn't it? That does sound like a very cool wrestling name. Looks like a decent figure, but I'm not ready to go down the rabbit hole of collecting animated versions of these characters in 1/6. Like uncarded reviews, I hear you, because I have to say, like, after my trip to Hong Kong, I was really taken by the Spider-Man figures, in particular a lot of the animated ones, and the guys at the Hot Toy stores, they do an amazing job posing them. And I just had to be like, no, you do not have room for Spider-Man. This was not. So I think with so much coming out, I think it is becoming really important to be selective and be proactively like organizing your collection in your head and what it's going to be. And this might sound dorky, but I literally, like, when I knew I was doing the garage cabinet, I drew out the cabinets I had and it's like, what's going to go here? And I kind of mapped it out. So I think we have to be selective. I think we're not in a time where you can buy everything, because Hot Toys is just A, Hot Toys is just producing too much stuff, but B, we've got so many other companies coming to the party now. I just don't think you can afford to keep up with everything that's being produced. Oh goodness, Bobby, what did you do? Bob is the nicest and most generous guy in collecting. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Bobby's gifting the channel memberships. Bob, thank you, appreciate it. I actually bought you something the other day, Bob, believe it or not. It's going to come in my next parcel to you, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I know when you see it, you're going to laugh. So, next parcel, which might be another box of diabetes, but I might include some salt, some salty things in there to balance it out. We'll see. But thank you. It's very kind, Bob. I appreciate you. Nacho Libre. Yeah, I mean, right? It's got those vibes. Lots of people getting memberships from Bob and saying thank you. He is the nicest guy in collecting, seriously. The Everyday Collector's here. Hey, everyone. Hello. How are you? Happy Friday. Stuck at work. Hope Alison is very happy today. Look, Alison thinks that she's a step closer to Neon Tech BB-8, Bobby. So, yeah, Alison's out there doing cartwheels somewhere, seriously. She's living the dream. Bobby Dylan equals Bobby Claus. He really is Bobby Claus. 500% he is Bobby Claus. Lots of people gifted membership, so thank you, Bob. That's very, very kind of you. Bob being Bob, 100%. Seriously. And I say this having met Bob last year, like, nicer, more generous guy I don't think I could have met. So he's just the coolest dude. Very cool dude. So Miles, as I said, I think he looks cool. And as I said, I really love these pink effect things. Maybe some people think they might look lame. They might look plastic and clunky, but I really liked them. And as I said, I feel like they can add that sort of level of making a pose look that little bit more dynamic from having those effects. So I'm a really big fan of how this looks. And yeah, purple's a great color. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have a quick water break because, oh God, I still feel like we have so much to talk about, but I'll be back in a tick. Goodness, we've already going for more than an hour, and I feel like I've still got quite a few slides to go through, so let's see if Helen can stick to 2 hours. I don't know. This will be the challenge. All right, so Ashe from League of Legends. And I know you're wondering, Helen, do you know much about League of Legends? Have you played this game? And please be sitting down when I say, of course I haven't. I don't know anything about League of Legends. But I know people who know a lot about League of Legends. So Cousin Anthony over at Figure Posing Channel, who, as we all know, I'm a big fan of, and amazing posing content. So make sure you check out Cousin Anthony's channel. He's a big League of Legends fan. He's been, I think he said it's like 13 years of the game, and he explains a bit of the background, which helped me understand this, because I looked at this and went, oh, okay, like, looks like a decent enough figure to me. I don't really understand League of Legends. But Cousin Anthony was very disappointed in this. And I said, well, explain this to me. Like I genuinely wanted to know. And what Anthony had explained to me was, well, in the game, and I wrote this down so I'd get it right. He said there's about 19 different looks for Ashe in the game. And Anthony had told me he'd bought a number of the skins and things like that, so he's very familiar with the character. And he said it's really disappointing to be sort of playing and following the game for 13 years, and when Hot Toys does a figure, they've based it on a look for a cinematic trailer. So he's like, there's like 20-second cinematic trailer, and that's what they've based the look of this figure on. They've ignored the comic book looks, 19 looks from the game. We're not getting any of that. We're getting this version of her from this cinematic trailer. And I thought it was interesting because then he talked about, oh goodness, what's the show called? I'm forgetting, but is it Arcane? Like the Vi figure from Arcane. And he talked about how that looked so good and it felt like a nice mix between the animated but sort of a real character. And he was saying, by comparison to those Arcane figures, this felt like a little bit of a letdown to him. So that was a genuinely interesting perspective for me, because I know League of Legends has a huge following. So when Hot Toys went down this line, I thought, okay, smart move. Like, video games have so much potential. Like, great to see them doing some different stuff. But I was genuinely surprised that someone like Anthony was just not in any way interested in this figure. So I didn't realize that that was the background, that actually this isn't a look from the game. It's a look from a trailer. And for someone who'd been a long-time fan, held no interest in this figure. So I did think that was interesting. I wasn't aware of that background. So I don't know. Are there people here that are really big into League of Legends? Like, I'd love to know, do you have the same view to Anthony? Does it not particularly bother you? Because I can get where he's coming from. Like, if I'd been playing a game for 13 years and then they produced a look for a character which wasn't a look from the game, I can understand being a little bit annoyed by that. I can totally appreciate that. So the figure, as I say, to me, just objectively looking at this as a figure, it looks fine to me. I'm not looking at this thinking there's any big issues, any big problems. Like, it's quite an interesting outfit. You've got these ice effects, which look kind of interesting and can give that bow and arrow a bit of a different look. But as I said, it really surprised me that there's people who are into this video game that are just like, I have absolutely no interest in this character. So interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the deal is with this one. Is this one that is produced in big numbers? Is it going to be one that hangs around? Because that's the flip side of it. Like, there's been so many figures I thought would hang around that absolutely haven't. So it will be really interesting to see what the deal is with this in the future. So that's Ashe from League of Legends. Oh, I'll go back because I've got an Ashe comment from Mike. This Ashe head sculpt is beautiful, but I got into League lore late. Not a fan of the game. After watching the 2024 game trailer and then seeing actual footage, I was like, seriously? Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Because the other person I knew who was into League was obviously Christian, so I would hear a bit about it from him. But as I said, like, I feel like the two people I know that are really into League, I don't think have an interest in this figure, which surprised me. It genuinely did. I think that there will always be certain characters that people are heavily invested in that don't receive the representation of the character in 1/6 that they would prefer. Yeah, I think that's very true. I think that's true. Alright. Ash Chase, get excited. Because we're going to talk about the battling version of Deadpool. And this is an interesting one, folks. So this was announced last week, I think. And we've got release already. And it's quite interesting because I have been trying to follow a little bit of the sentiment about this online. And I know there's some people that are a little bit disappointed that the combination of the way these things have released. So we had the clean version of Deadpool and the accessories that came with, and now we've got this battle damaged version that is coming with accessories when the suit wasn't exactly battle damaged. So Hot Toys, I think it's interesting they've gone back, they've given us the Logan skeleton, they've given us the sort of Wolverine claws, they're giving us the time, would you call it a time portal background? I think it's interesting that they've gone back and included this, but done it with this sort of battle damage suit. And it's interesting because at first I wondered, might this be a little bit like Dusty Deadpool, where I know some people bought Dusty Deadpool and they were able to just remove that grey layer and essentially end up with a normal Deadpool. So I had wondered, could you do that with this? But when I looked at some close-up images of the suit, it's not just that kind of dusty look to it. Like, there are bits of the suit that look kind of ripped and damaged. So I think you potentially might be able to remove some of that dustiness to it if you're not a fan. But before the stream started, if you're not following 6Scale Kawu, he does cool content on YouTube and Instagram. And he did actually show that the accessories that have come with this battle version of Deadpool are compatible with the clean version of Deadpool, which is a cool thing for people to know. So it's interesting because for me, I thought, is this Hot Toys trying to um, make the most of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie and go, well, we didn't give them this stuff and customizers are now making these accessories. Is there a chance for us to make another version? Is this a reactive thing? Is this something they always planned? I don't know, but I do kind of feel like, are they milking this franchise? Maybe a little bit, because I feel like we had that with Logan. We had the standard, then we had the deluxe, and the deluxe came with like the TVA jacket and things like that. And I can understand if there's people who are like, you know what, like, why couldn't you have given us just standard and deluxe Deadpool, and the deluxe then had all these other bells and whistles? So I can totally appreciate that there might be some people being like, that frustration, right? Because you pre-order, you're thinking this is the Deadpool we're getting, and then we're quite a while down the road after that Deadpool was sort of announced and released, and we're getting this. So I'd love to know, if you're a Deadpool fan, are you just like, I don't care, I'm excited by all the Deadpools? Is there a part of you that's like, man, I wish I knew about this before? Like, would you have maybe bought this over the clean suit? Because I feel like for me, the clean suit feels like more typically what we see of him. And particularly at the start of the movie, like, the suit is pretty clean. Oh wow, we've got a lot of comments about the Deadpool. Ash is excited. Now we're talking. Mike says, this Deadpool is tempting every time I see it, but I don't want to rebuy this for just the accessories. And that's the thing, Mike. Like, I think there would be people that are like, man, I want this for the accessories. And I'll be honest with you, there used to be a time where I'd be like, oh, just buy the accessories loose on Toy Anxiety. But seriously, that's becoming hard to do. And the pricing on some of these accessories is not as cheap as it used to be. And I know for me, when I did my Stealthy Elena, I knew it would be cheaper to buy a second figure than just buy the parts I needed. Like, I was like, it's about on par, and then if I rebuy the figure, I've then got all these other bonus accessories that I wouldn't have gotten if I bought the parts loose from Toy Anxiety. So it's a hard one. It is a hard one because I think as Toy Anxiety's become so well known, I feel like the figures get listed, and if you're not on that site in minutes, you're not getting the accessories. It's all just going to be gone. TX Boy 210, happy Friday, collectors. Can't believe the turnaround on this one. Sideshow really taking their time with putting this one up for us. It's what got me. Like, I was really shocked at how quickly this one released as well. Like, I don't know if it's just a small batch, the full batch. But yeah, I mean, they're obviously really committed to this line. And it's interesting because we still haven't seen the Gambit go up for pre-order. We still haven't seen Elektra go up for pre-order. So they haven't even finished the Resistance, but yet we're getting another version of Deadpool. And I have to say, like, I think this head sculpt looks pretty good. I know, as I said, Six Scale Kawu's already got this figure in hand. He spoke very, very highly of this head sculpt. I think for me, maybe the only things missing is like the sort of staples and the little bits of hair. But then by the same token, this is probably a bit more of a universal Wade sculpt that you could use on previous versions of the figure, or if you wanted to kit bash a civilian Wade, you've got that option as well. So, but maybe they can do Artisan with the little patches of hair. Maybe that'll make people happy. Case in point, battling version of Deadpool. I think that this is perfect, but I don't know that it's screen accurate for the scene. Yeah, I don't think it is screen accurate for the scene. When he's doing that whole dance thing, I don't think the suit is looking like this. This is coming home 100% for Ashe. Ashe is saying he needs 3, maybe 4. Because I guess you want the different accessories to pose with it, right? I can't remember whose vid I saw yesterday, but they had this in hand and was not surprised that the light up portal doesn't light up that well. Other than that, everything else looks fantastic. I think Figure Hideout, who has his Chinese channel, which I think is Planet 333, I think the review is already up. And I think on the Figure Hideout Instagram page, there was a very quick unboxing, but there's a more full review on his Chinese channel on YouTube, which I haven't had a chance to watch, but I did see came out. I spotted a review today on YouTube, and Sideshow doesn't even have the figure yet for pre-order. What is going on? I'm referring to Deadpool battling version. I don't know. And this is what gets me, because I don't feel like Sideshow typically takes that long to list a figure for pre-order. Like, I feel like Hot Toys announcers, I feel like Sideshow is generally like same day or next day putting that figure up on their website, because then whenever Sideshow lists it, it's generally 3 or 4 days later for us in Australia that Pop Culture will list it on their website. So I'm really surprised that we're at like a week later and Sideshow hasn't put it up for pre-order. That is very interesting to me. Mike's questioning Ashe. 3 or 4, well, now might be a good time to give you my proper address. Oh, okay. Don't know what that's about. But look, like, this looks cool, and I have to say, I really like this half-mast head sculpt. I think that is very cool, and I think this is where it's good to know that the elements of this figure and the, I guess, clean version of the figure do seem to be very interchangeable. I'm pretty sure 6-scale Kawu did show this half-mast figure on the clean suit version, and it seemed to work just fine. So, as I say, nice that the things are interchangeable, but I can completely understand that there would be some people that are annoyed that they've committed to the figure, they might have bought custom items, and now Hot Toys is doing this version of it. I think it would have been nice to have done a standard clean version and then a deluxe version that included these different accessories at the time. So, where am I up to with the comments? Bring back the days of card back showing the figures in the line. I would love if Hot Toys did that. Oh, that would be cool, Anthony. That would be cool. Because even like Funko Pops even do that, right? Where on the back of the box it tells you what else is coming up. Because that's the thing, because you've had the, I think you've had the normal clean version. There's the one that comes with the gold pistols. I'm pretty sure that's a different one. Now there's this version, there's Nice Pull. Like, I think it would be good for people to know what they planned, but I guess it's never been Hot Toys' way. And I'm looking at this background as well, thinking like, is it just a piece of plastic? Like, it may well just be a piece of plastic. It may well be just a piece of plastic. Looks like this does include a swap out set of eyes too. I'm trying to remember. I feel like this mask sculpt doesn't have swap out eyes. I feel like that's another difference between the two. I feel like the clean version had the swap out eyes, but this one maybe didn't. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that was a difference between the two as well. The Resistant isn't complete yet. Hot Toys being Hot Toys. No, it's not. I'm pretty sure Gambit and Elektra have not been announced. So this is what caught me by surprise with this as well. Like, every time, like, we got the Human Torch announcement and I was like, really? Like, everybody's sitting here particularly waiting for Gambit. So I'm really surprised that we haven't seen that go up for PO yet. Helen should be today, as release date is today for us. Okay. This will be my one and only Deadpool. Fair enough. As I say, I don't mind the look of this suit. Like, I don't think it's like a bad looking suit. For me, I'm not sure how much the suit looks like this. And I don't think it matches to these accessories. So, as I said, I think it looks great. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad looking figure. I'm just looking at this going, I can imagine there's people that will be a bit annoyed that these accessories are with this version. Because I think I could see people wanting to mix bits from here and bits for here to kind of make their ultimate Deadpool. Sideshow's been slow lately, still waiting for Daredevil and Gambit, Blade and Electric go up for pre-order. So I think I don't think Daredevil and Gambit and Elektra have gone up for pre-order even in Hong Kong. Blade has gone up for pre-order in Hong Kong, hasn't it? Or did we just get a teaser? I'm trying to remember because I remember we saw pictures of Blade, so I feel like that's gone up for pre-order perhaps. But Daredevil, I feel like they're obviously waiting for that suit to get a bit more airtime on the TV show. But they've not been released for pre-order in Hong Kong. I have to say though, like I ordered my John Wick from Sideshow, and that was my first order with them. And I was kind of surprised how long it took me to get it, because some people were getting it sent in January, so I paid off my figure in full at that time. And I didn't get it till like 2 months later, which surprised me, because in Australia, like, Pop Culture gets their stock in one batch. So when it's in stock, everybody's getting it. It's not this sort of situation where I'm starting to wonder, does Sideshow get a small amount quickly to appear competitive with Hong Kong, but then the bulk of the stock still comes a bit later? Because I know there was people in January getting that special edition John Wick from Sideshow, but I know myself and a few others, we've only just picked up ours a couple weeks ago, and that's a big gap, 2 months. Like, I've never experienced that buying from Pop Culture. Uncarded Review says, I still have the original Deadpool 1.0 figure, so I don't need the previous red suit. I want this unmasked head sculpt. Yeah, I think these two head sculpts, I think the unmasked head sculpt and this half-masked head sculpt, I think are very big selling points for this figure. I'm surprised that Hot Toys cheaped out on the base for the special edition, and now with this, it's not a solid base. Oh, isn't it? Okay, interesting. No, this one does have swap out eyes, which was revealed when people unboxed the figure. Oh, really? I thought this one didn't. I thought that was one of the little idiosyncrasies between the two. Interesting. Okay. I thought when they showed it, the promo images, I thought it didn't. Okay. Well, bonus if it does. Like, hey, like, I won't argue with that. We like options. After seeing the figure, I don't remember seeing the actor who played Human Torch, lol. Oh. Ashe is confirming, yes, Blade has gone up for pre-order. I was pretty sure the other ones hadn't, but Blade, I'm pretty sure, had. But Daredevil and Gambit and Elektra haven't even gone up for pre-order in Hong Kong. So ETA on them, I have no idea. I've got clean Deadpool and Wolverine, so I won't be getting battling Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, that's fair enough. And I think I can get that. Like, a battle damaged isn't for everyone. And I know for me, it's typically not something I get. I think the only time I've gotten a battle damaged version was for the Mark 85 Iron Man. And I bought the clean one as well, but I wanted the snap, and that's the battle damaged look. And that's probably a one exception for me, that I went out of my way to get a battle damaged version. I think some other figures I have might have like swap out battle damage pieces, like the Mark 7 Iron Man. And I can understand that. Some people don't like that look, and fair enough. Like, if the clean ones are what you want, absolutely. Like, it's your collection. I totally advocate for that. That's what I've heard about Sideshow. I'm already thinking that they're not going to meet the delivery date of end of March for Wanda and Ahsoka. Well, I mean, if you're talking about the Artisan Wanda and the sculpted version that goes with her, well, I mean, that's not even out in Hong Kong, so it's not like, and I mean, March ends on Monday, so will we get Artisan Wanda on Monday? I don't know. I would be really surprised if we did. I'd love to, don't get me wrong. I've got sculpted Wanda on pre-order, so I'd love to get her sooner than later. But yeah, Ahsoka I can't speak to, but Wanda, like, she was meant to be out by now, but I don't know where she is. Pop Culture has the Deadpool, Blade, Kidpool, Ladypool, Wolverine, and Human Torch X-23. Yeah, I think that's most of them. Do they have Nice Pool as well? Or is Nice Pool an Artisan? God, guys, I'm struggling to keep up with all this stuff in this Deadpool line. There's a lot of figures in the Deadpool line. And I have to be honest, I bought the first Deadpool and I had it with the bridge diorama. And then I had nothing to go with it, so I sold it. And then what did I do? Pop culture sale, let's buy Deadpool 2. And then I sold it. So I'm trying not to get into Deadpool because I'm like, you bought and sold 2. And buying and selling figures is a pain. So I'm trying to resist, but I like Hugh Jackman. So it is very tempting to want to buy. And even I had so many Wolverine figures. I had was it the X-Men 2 with the black and yellow suit. I had the Wolverine movie in the black suit. I had the Days of Future Past. Like, I've had so many Hugh Jackman Wolverines and I've sold them all. And I'm like, no, I cannot get lured back into this. I cannot. Jennifer Garner should have made an Elektra cameo on Daredevil Born Again. Well, who knows what might happen on Daredevil Born Again. I wasn't able to get an Artisan, but like you, Helen, I got the sculpted Wanda, which I prefer, to be honest. Her Artisan hair looks too orange to me. I'm the same, Mike. Like, I really don't like how orange Wanda's hair looks. Not only in that figure, but I feel like some of the later Wanda figures, the hair does look a bit too orange for me. So I got the sculpted one. I have no problem with sculpted hair. And I just figured if I was that upset by the sculpted hair, maybe I can send the sculpt to Tina to get rooted. I'm still on the waiting list. So I feel like I'll get Wanda before I convert from the Tina waiting list. So I feel like there's so many options now that if you want to get a head sculpt rooted, there's so many artists out there that can do that for you. But I'm the same with you. That hair felt very orange. And when I looked at the photos, I did prefer the look of the color of the sculpted hair than the Artisan one. Yep, Miss Nice Paul. Oh, you missed it. Okay, because I was going, oh, does pop culture not have Nice Paul? I thought they must have. Helen, you didn't PO the Thirst Trap Wolverine. Are you talking about the one I showed from 1/6 kit, the shirtless one, which I think was a statue? No, I have not. My space is at a real premium at the moment. I think I've said this before, where I need to make a decision about space, and I'm thinking another cabinet, but I haven't decided size, but also configuration, because I'm not sure if I want to move my garage shelving unit like over here where there's like a window and put it there and get another cabinet like my glass cabinets, or whether I just want to do another garage display. Because as much as I love that cabinet, there's a part of me that likes symmetry, and I'm like, it's not symmetrical. Whereas over here, I've got some raised detofs. So the height of the garage display is not dissimilar to the height of the detofs. So it would mean this wall would be symmetrical and then this wall would be symmetrical. So I keep changing my mind as to what my expansion will be. And until I've decided what it's going to be, I'm trying not to get into new lines. So I'm very much just trying to complete existing lines that I have and add to them. So I'm trying to be a bit restrained, but then I have so many pre-orders as well. But they are all to go. I feel like most of them are to go with existing lines that I have. I'm not buying freaking baby Grogu in a satchel. Like, that's not coming home. So not even the shirtless Hot Toys version. No, I have no, because I sold them. I had like 3 or 4 Wolverines and sold them. So hence I'm like, I don't want to repeat this. Like, if I sold them, I sold them. And I actually have other, like, I've got like a nice signed photo of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And I'm like, I've got wall space that I can always frame that up and put that on the wall. So I feel like I have other stuff I could have. Maybe that's just me. Must have all the Wolverines and all the Wandas. That's fair enough. I counted 9 Deadpool figures today on Pop Culture. This Deadpool makes 10. Wow. And we're thinking 2 more. So that's quite big. Like, you think of recent cinematic releases, like 12 figures from a movie is huge. Particularly a Marvel movie. Like, I'm thinking it's probably not since like Endgame that they've gone this deep into a movie. Like, some movies got no figures, some movies got a figure. Like Black Panther 2 only got the Shuri figure. The Marvels got none, as we all know, upsets me still to this day. It's so, yeah, they just went so deep on this one. It's interesting, and I am keen to see, when are we going to get Gambit? When are we going to get Elektra? Like, surely they're going to complete the Resistance. Like, they've come this far. And I feel like this line, there'd be people like Ashe that are like, I'm buying absolutely everything. Like, surely you do them. Surely. But then I thought that with Guardians 3, like, yep, they're finally going to redo Drax. They're going to finish the line. And then they did it. So I can't understand Howie Claws. Yep, and I want them all, call me crazy. Well, I mean, Deadpool's your guy. I get that. I mean, God, I've got so much Batman and Dark Knight stuff. Like, I can't talk. I've got like two lots of Bruce Waynes in the same suit, like the Armory suit and this Dark Knight Rises suit. So I can't talk. I probably, and this is the thing, like, I can't even be bothered selling them because I feel like it's going to be more trouble than it's worth. So I'm just storing Bruce Waynes in suits around my house. Fair enough. This will be my first Wolverine, and I'm so excited. The one with clothes, I mean, don't need a reminder that I need to work harder on my own physique. Well, mate, you and me both. I need less Tim Tams and hot cross buns and more walking around the block. But do I do that? No, I don't do that because I like Tim Tams and not walking around the block. Quick water break, and then we'll keep going because we still got a few more slides to go, folks. All right. Let's talk about Anakin Skywalker. I think his name is Skywalker. It might not be. But let's talk about Anakin. Artisan Anakin. The guy everyone's been waiting for. Well, everyone Star Wars related. I feel like this might end up being another rant about blogger photos. But anyway, this is a blogger photo. I have no problem with this. This, to me, looks absolutely fine. I know there were so many people asking, where's Anakin? What's going on with Anakin? There was concern that was the hair issue with some of the Joker figures, meaning Hot Toys, had run into issues with Anakin. Did they have to retool this figure? What was going on? He's here now. And my goodness, the excitement seems to be zero. And I just feel a bit Groundhog Day at people flipping their lid over blogger photos. I feel like I've said this so many times. Take blogger photos with a grain of salt. Take blogger photos as a sign that a figure has been released. Because I look at the hair here, and again, am I a Star Wars person? No. Is this figure for me? No. I'm looking at a photo like this going, what's the problem? I don't understand. Again, we've got more photos here, and I think the biggest thing that got to me was, I think the hair colour is looking different in some of these blogger photos. Lighting. Have photos been touched up? Have colour hues been added? We don't know. But people going gaga and throwing the toys out of the cot over blogger photos, I just can't with it. As I said, for me, this is where Howie Claus, if you're listening, first of all, I love you. Where's Okoye, please and thank you. But second of all, this is where I would really love to see releases accompanied by video footage, because you get such a different view of the figure from a video. And it's a shame because I went to see some of the usual suspects to see if there was any video footage of this figure. There was nothing that I could see. If that's come out now, I'm not quite sure. But I'm looking at this, and part of me's like, what am I not understanding? As I said, be mindful that I'm not going to 100% judge a figure on a blogger photo, but I am sitting here going, I don't understand what all the outrage is at. Because we know blogger photos are a mixed bag. And I don't know if people remember, but I put 2 blogger photos of the Michael Keaton modern suit Batman side by side to prove that point, to go, guys, these look like different, like painted by different people. And it's the same thing, but in different photographic conditions. Which I'm trying to say, like, it is so subjective depending on how these head sculpts have been shot. I look at this and I'm like, I don't see the kerfuffle. But I wanted to put these photos together because everyone's favorite game today seems to be promo photo versus actual. So I did see that JC Hung shared a photo of the sculpt. So we see on the left, promo photo, middle is what JC Hung has shared, and then on the right is a blogger photo. So for me, as I said, I think in all 3 of these, the hair looks slightly different. But in all 3 of these, the lighting conditions are different. So again, what is the hair color actually like? I'm not sure. When you get it in hand, may not be an issue, but I think the thing that some people are neglecting is that you're getting a figure with rooted hair. You are probably going to have to spend a little bit of time futzing with it to get it perfect as you want. So I know some people have said it's maybe a bit longer than it should be. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I think the other thing that kind of makes it a bit tricky is some of these angles are not 100% comparable. It was very hard to find views of the sculpt which were direct center to go, yep, this is a true comparison. We all know there will be a little bit of a step down with head sculpts and paint application. But I genuinely was looking at the photo JC Hung shared and I was like, is this really a train wreck like some people are making out? Because as I said, my view has always been wait for reviewers with video footage firsthand, see the footage, get their firsthand impression. Because this is the thing, and this might sound like an excuse or stupid, but there are some sculpts that don't photograph well. And I think it was the Hot Toys Mark 6 Tony Stark. And I know I spoke to Iron Logan about that one, and he had said that to me. He was like, look, like, I was worried when I saw the photos of this figure, but then when I got it in hand, it was fine. But he's like, I'm struggling to get a photo of this sculpt that matches what my eye sees. And I think that's another thing we need to factor in. But I really, you know, if I could hope something for 2025, it would be this two-pronged thing of Hot Toys release video footage with releases, and can we not fly off the handle at blogger photos? Because it just happens, I feel like it happens with almost every release. And then people get it in hand and you don't hear these controversies anymore, or it's fine, or it's a storm in a teacup. So I thought it was interesting to compare these 3. As I said, I found it hard to find 3 shots that I felt showed the figure in the head sculpt in the same lighting or at the same angle. But I'm keen to know, because there was people who were like desperate to get this on PO. Are you still feeling that way? Like, some people are cancelling. Like a couple people have said they've picked up conversions of a waitlist, which I never thought would happen, because we're not getting a standard release with this. We're just getting this artisan figure. So I am keen to know what are you thinking? Let me find where I'm up to in the comments. So Mike says, look, if there was nothing to compare this to, like the prototype, I don't think it's that bad. Anakin apparently has an allergy we didn't know about with that sore on hand. But other than that, oh goodness, is there a problem with the hands now? I haven't even noticed. I think they said he was too tall or something like that. Anakin's too tall, really? I know what he looks like, Queen. I don't, oh, what, really? Freddie Mercury. You think this looks like Freddie Mercury, really? The hair looks darker. I don't have this on pre-order. So long and Harley and Black Quinn turn out good and hair does not drop off. I'll be happy. Oh, well. Yeah, look, the Joker hair. I have views on that as well. But this is my thing. Like, in some of the blogger photos, though, Deadpool red suit, like, you look at this blogger photo, the hair looks lighter. And I don't know, is that it's the photos lit better? Is that some kind of color filter? Because in some of the blogger photos, to me, it looks like a lighter brown. So this is where I'm like, let's see some in-hand video review footage before we all go a bit too crazy. Because even here, that one on the right, again, is it some kind of filter? I don't know what it is. But even in these three photos, I think you look at the one on the right, that looks lighter than the photo that JC's posted. So which one's the true indication of what this hair looks like? Like, it's harder to capture some of that sometimes in a still photo than in a video, in my opinion. Mike, you're spitting facts, Helen. I took pics of some figures, and when I went back to look at them, I'm like, is this the same figure? And just to clear up any confusion, I'm not a pro photographer. But it happens to me sometimes as well, Mike. Like, sometimes there are figures that you're like, I can't get this to look good. And I mean, obviously, you know, it's an artisan figure and everybody's wanting it to be, you know, the creme de la creme and all that stuff. That's why I as I said, I love it when we get the video at the same time as the photos. Because I remember with, like, John Wick, like, the blogger photos and everyone was like, oh, this looks like John Sick, this looks like Jack Wick. But then when I saw in-hand video footage, I was like, what's the problem? This sculpt looks great. So I really wish Hot Toys would start having videography bloggers doing video content on release. Because I think it would make such a difference. Yeah, the flipping out over every set of photos is nuts. Get it in hand and judge it. Or if you don't want it and have it on PO, let it go. No big deal if it's not the end of the world. I agree, AJ. And this is what gets me, like, people just picking it apart based on blogger photos. And I'm like, have we not learnt? Are we going to do this every single time? Or are they doing it to make people cancel their pre-order so their waitlist will convert? I don't know. Is that something people would do? But seriously, as I said, I just go, how do you know which one of these is the true reflection? Like, I just don't think these photos are comparable to make a definitive judgment. Like, it looks a bit darker, yeah, but is that a true indication? Is this lit in the best way? What were the conditions in which it was photographed? Like we don't know any of that stuff. Like, I think the one on the right, to me, it looks like it's, you know, obviously it's a lighter background it's shot against. Maybe there was more lighting. Like we don't know. We don't know. And even, you know, does the position of the lightsaber and the way the light reflects impact? Probably. This is where I just really like to get that video footage to make a determination on how I think a figure looks. I feel like people are gaslighting how bad it is just to get people to cancel their order so people can get their waitlist converted. I mean, like, literally, I'm like, is that a thing? Would people really do that? Maybe they would. I don't know. I just seriously, like, so many times I look at some of this stuff and I'm like, really? Because it's no J&D smiling Joker sculpt. Like, that's the real head sculpt atrocity, right? Like, I don't really see what's so bad about this one at this stage. I'm not looking at this going, like, they've changed the shape of the head or they've given it some goofy expression, or, as I said, like, yeah, the hair color, but maybe in hand it's not that bad. We don't know yet. Looks nothing like Freddie. Thank you. I was like, Freddie Mercury, really? I don't think it looks anything like him either. I'm okay with this artisan hair learning curve, so when Hot Toys announces an artisan Thena, it'll be perfect. No, I'm only joking. Well, I mean, Hot Toys is going to give me and Bob Dylan our artisan Carol Danvers. So, they need to get the rooting right for that, because Lord knows Bob and I are down to buy all 3,000 copies of artisan Carol Danvers, literally. Look, that Joker situation, I mean, I had so many views on it, but I also don't want to kind of go down that topic again, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, so many people posting their sad panda photos about Anakin, and I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. Even if this looked terrible, I wouldn't cancel my pre-order. Case in point, the J&D Studios Joker. People cancelled and lost their pre-order NRD, and now some are trying to purchase it again. Well, I mean, and that's the interesting thing, right? Like, people who are like, no way, I'm cancelling, and they're not actually, no, I'm going to buy it to review. Surprises me. I'm kind of like, let's say, their money, their decision, whatever. I don't know. I just feel like that J&D Joker, like, to me, that smiling head sculpt never looked great. And it's quite interesting because even now, they talked about retooling the figure, and there's been some people kind of debating how much did they retool or didn't they retool. Is it just that they've taken better photos? I think the neutral sculpt is not bad. That laughing sculpt, I'm not a fan of. And interesting that they've come to this, we're going to give you a choice if you want short or long-haired laughing sculpt. I mean, nice that you're getting the choice, but for me, yeah, I don't understand this position of some people, but then I get it, right? Because maybe you're looking at that going, this is going to be a hard thing to sell. Is the loss I'm going to take and the time I'm going to need to sell it more or less than just like letting the pre-order go? I don't know. Hello, Helen and fellow collectors. I see people jumping on the bandwagon now saying the artisan line is a failure after these blogger photos. Some people just love to create drama. Hello, Wayne. Happy Friday. Yeah, and this is where with the whole Joker thing, I kind of have watched a bit from the sideline and people sort of condemning Hot Toys in the artisan line. And I'm like, personally, I don't really know what to make of that Joker situation, because they released the WB100 Wonder Woman, and that had this rooted hair, same wool, all that. No problems. They released the Imposter Joker. Same deal. No problem. Artisan Jack Sparrow. My understanding with the hair, no problem. So with this Joker, I'm like, how many? And like, we don't know. Did Hot Toys do something differently? Was it something about the conditions that the people that have the figures live in? Like, I've mentioned on this stream previously, and I know it's a bit different, but like the Batman Forever suits of Batman and Robin, like, people who live in humid climates have said when they touch the figure, the suit feels sticky. That's not a problem that I have. I live in a drier climate. So we don't know. Like, did the people who have those figures, like, handle them in a certain way? Did they put some kind of product on it? Like we don't know. And I'm not saying people have deliberately tried to trash their figures, but I'm like, there's other artisan figures that have come out that have not been problematic. So for people to say, oh, Hot Toys, this is terrible, and you can't do rooted hair, you're not as good as in-art, I'm like, well, hang on, because the in-art rooted hair's not been without its problems. And from what I'm seeing, I don't feel like it's a huge number of Jokers that have had this problem. So it's not like the percentage of Hot Toys artisan figures with hair issues is substantially higher than in-art ones. I think with in-art figures, there's been a lot of inconsistency with like length and style. And granted, the hair's not falling out. It's a different problem. But I'm not thinking it's disproportionate. But I am a bit over the skies falling over some blogger photos. Because I just feel like it happens every time. Every time. If I had the budget, I probably would have bought the J&D Joker for review just to set the record straight. That's fair enough, Tremble Dust. That's fair enough. It's interesting because there's not, I don't feel like there's a lot of reviews of the guy out there. Like, I feel like there was maybe some Chinese channels that have done, because I guess you had that option. You had that option to return it and wait for it a bit later. So they'd released, I think, a batch maybe directly in Korea. And then when they had got the feedback about it's difficult to attach to the body and all that, I think that's where they were like, look, like, we're recalling, so we're going to retool this. But yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see a comparison of the J&D to the inner to the new Hot Toys version. Like, I would genuinely be interested in that. Tremble Dustle says, hey people, hey to you, happy Friday, hope you're doing well. It's a shame J&D didn't give us choice for an improved likeness. Well, as I said, I feel like the neutral sculpt is not bad. I just don't like that laughing sculpt. Like, I'm not sure if it's a very specific scene or look that they're going for. But for me, I don't look at that as, yeah, that's that pivotal part of the movie where Joker's laughing like that. To me, that expression just doesn't, I don't know, just doesn't resonate with me. I personally never like cancelling POs unless necessary. Money is money. Yeah, I get it. And I guess for me, I'm kind of lucky that I do most of my pre-ordering through Pop Culture, and they will actually let you move your deposit onto another figure. So on the few instances where I've, like, I'm not going to lie, there's things like Mech Test Tony where, because that was a grail and the 2.0 came out, it's like, oh my God, I have to get this. And then later on, I was like, actually, you got no room for it. What are you going to do with it? I'm very lucky that they will then let you move that deposit onto another pre-order so you don't lose it, which is nice. But I know that's different with different sellers. You know, it is a non-refundable deposit. But as I say, I'm very lucky that Pop Culture is quite flexible like that, and they allow you to sort of move your money around so you don't lose it as such. And then when the bill comes from that other figure, it's a little less to pay, which, you know, is sometimes a bonus. Ramsign fan, howdy, I'm here late, but I'll catch the replay later on. Hello, sir, how you doing? I did see your comment before the stream, so thank you very much. It was gone by the time the stream started, but I did see it when I was uploading the slides. So I hope you enjoy the replay when you get around to it eventually. Same, just waiting on checks instead. Still no luck. Oh, slight problem with Wonder Woman 100. Hairline is a bit off, but can be hidden with tiara. Overall, great figure. Oh, really? I didn't realize there was an issue with the hairline, but there's not been an issue with, like, hair, like, discoloring and falling out, though, has there? Because I think that's the thing with the Joker. Like, it looks like it almost goes a bit orange, and then when that happens, that it's prone to falling apart. Look, I'm all for realism, but I don't need my figures to go bald. What's next, crow's feet? I laugh because someone, like, photoshopped Anakin and had taken all the hair out, and I was like, oh goodness, we're just going to keep writing this one. I have both Hot Toys, Artisan Jokers, and I have zero issues with either one, and I'm familiar with rooted hair and how to manage it properly. But that's what I wonder. Like, I do wonder. I'm like, we don't know. Like, because it's not every Joker, and I don't even think it's a large percentage of the Jokers. So there is a part of me that's like, we don't know if something's happened to the way they've been handled, or has something been applied to them, or have they been overly like handled. Like, I don't know. So I kind of like, is it like a concern? Yeah, I'm sure. But I mean, to then come out and fully just trash the Artisan line and say Hot Toys doesn't know how to do rooted hair and XYZ, I don't really know that we can say that based on what feels like a small sample size of this having happened to, personally. Since I saw the recall, I didn't see any reviews of J&D Joker personally. No, I don't think there's been any since then. I think there was a few early on and then nothing since. Helen, I think the one on the right here is too straight and the one on the left is more messy, if you know what I mean. Well, and this is the thing, Ash. I think rooted hair is going to require some attention. It's going to require some attention. So is it going to look 100% like that promo image? It's probably not. So I think as well, that's the thing, because I know I'm not a big fan of having to style rooted hair. So I think people getting these rooted sculpts, like, you are going to have to maintain them. You are probably going to have to do a little bit of styling. And if that's something you don't want to do, then I don't think these are for you. And it's, as I say, it's a shame that there was no sculpted option with this. So you had no choice. This was the only thing you had. But I think people need to expect a rooted sculpt is going to need some maintenance with, I don't know if it's going to be out of the box, but certainly with time, like particularly depending on your weather conditions, it's not going to stay pristine. Like, I feel like my in-art rooted Joker, like, I feel like the hair's gotten a bit poofy, and I'm going, okay, I need to obviously use some product or do something to get that looking the way it did when I first got it. Like, that's part of the game with rooted hair. Totally agree. At Pop Culture, they're great with moving deposits. I did that once and it went smoothly. Yeah, they're very easy to deal with, I have to say. I've not had any issues with their customer service, and I know when the button cell battery issue happened here, and they were in limbo with what was going to happen with certain figures. In that instance, they actually like refunded my deposits, which I was really appreciative of. They were like, look, we don't know what's happening. We don't know when these figures are coming. We don't know what the situation is. Like, we'll refund you. And I was totally thinking they'd just let me move the deposits elsewhere. But the fact they actually gave me my money back, I really appreciated that, because that wasn't their policy to do. I'm not sure why, but Heath Ledger Joker head sculpts seem to be an obsession, especially with the Asian sculptors artists. There's always a lot of contention surrounding who produced the best sculpt. There's so many of them, and even I've been following a guy named John Woo who does Joker sculpts, and some really beautiful Joker sculpts. And then another, I think Adam Goo's like accusing him of ripping off his work and recasting it. But I feel like the whole time I've been collecting Hot Toys, people are making Heath Ledger Joker custom sculpts. Like, I don't feel like I've ever had a time where someone hasn't been working on a Heath Ledger Joker sculpt in the custom space. Yeah, I don't know what it is, and it's funny because the amount of money I've seen some people pay for the sculpts they've gotten, and I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. They have loved them, so I'm not going to rain on their parade. They're like, look at this, it's so amazing. I'm like, awesome, dude, I'm so glad it came when you like it. But some of them I'm looking at going, oh goodness, as I say, subjective, but it's a constant. Like, I feel like I've never not known a time that someone isn't working on a Heath Ledger Joker sculpt. Oh no, the hair discoloration or falling out at Warner Brothers 100. Least what I've heard, my copy is holding up great. And that's my thing, Tremble Dust. Like, people are like casting these dispersions at Hot Toys about the Joker, but there's other figures that have come out with this hair that are not having these issues. So I don't know, we can just blanket say Hot Toys can't do rooted hair, Artisan's trash, rah, rah, rah. Like, we can't ignore these other figures that have come out that have not had these problems. That's kind of what I'm saying. But I'm glad, like, thank you, because it's good to know that my assumption's right, and that Wonder Woman figure hasn't had issues with hair discoloring or falling out, because that's what's happening with these Joker figures. Thanks for the stream, Helen, but I got to go. See you next week. All good, Mike. Thank you for dropping by. Hope you have a lovely weekend. That's the end of my slides, guys. So on that note, maybe I'll sign off as well. So we got a tick over 2 hours. So 2 hours and around 15 minutes, which is not bad given how much we had to talk about. So couple of reminders. As I said, I am working on my next video, which will be a comparison of the Topo and Kento Studios Bruce Wayne Dark Knight Rises suit. I have a lot of views about that. I've been a big fan of Topo, but this one, there's a few question marks from Helen on this one. So I'm going to do my best to have that out this weekend. This has been a reminder of lighting figures for reviews is not fun. I'm glad I'm not a reviewer, but people don't tend to review the suits, so that's why I try to do reviews on some of this Topo stuff, because I feel like no one's really doing it. So I'll do my best to get that out this weekend. And as I said at the top of the stream, I'm so close to 3,000 subscribers, so if you're watching for the first time or you haven't subscribed and you're enjoying the content, maybe throw me a sub, it's free. Maybe throw a like on the stream, also free. But yeah, guys, have an amazing weekend. Thank you all for coming to hang out. Really appreciate it. I'll be back next Friday, same time. And remember, don't be wearing your Grogu's on your satchel, because people are going to touch your Grogu and that's a bad time. Okay? Remember that. Remember what I told you. Got some goodbyes, AJ. Take care, everyone. Thanks for the great stream, Helen. Thank you. Appreciate you dropping by, Tremble Dust. Be good, everyone. Absolutely. Thanks, Helen. You're absolutely welcome. Later, everyone. Guys, appreciate you. And if you were here for Snack Talk earlier and you want some homework, look into whether there's hot cross buns in your area and give them a go. Toasted with butter, absolutely delicious. Or Tim Tams. They're Australia's gift to the world. They're absolutely delicious. Chewy caramel or mint, they're my favorite ones. If you want a recommendation, Tim Tam Slam, also amazing. Great show, thank you, appreciate that. Take care. Absolutely, Ramson fan, you take care too. That came out wrong, or did it? No, absolutely not. Didn't come out wrong. Because wearing Grogu on a satchel is ridiculous. But on that note, guys, I'll see you next week. Have a good one.